Yeah, Big JTV. And I've been on a little slump. I've been on a content slump. I'm going to keep it 100% real. But, I have to speak on the news, man. I have to speak on the news and I have to speak honestly, man. Like the videos y'all come in, you know what I mean? This is not good news I'm here to talk about. This is just news that I kind of saw coming, but I never talked about it. But we going to talk about it today, man. They tried to pop off Trump, man. They tried to, like Hassan Campbell likes to say, rock his snot box. You know what I mean? They tried to turn his TV off, essentially. You know what I mean? They tried to send him to meet the Grim Reaper, meet God. You know what I mean? They tried to JFK this dude. They tried to Abraham Lincoln him. Okay? And I'm not saying any of that to be funny or any kind of joking manner. I'm trying to put a little bit of levity in the air because what happened was one of the worst situations in American history. And you know what? I'm Canadian, right? I'm just Canadian. I'm just going to keep it a bean. This is just a horrible thing that happened in world history, period. Assassination attempts, especially on presidents of the United States, are not a joke, bruh. The last semi-successful attempt was in 1981 and Ronald Reagan, man, when some dweeb loser who had a crush with Jodie Foster thought that Jodie Foster, the actress, the actress would fall in love with him or would be proud of him if he actually shot up Ronald Reagan. Now, keep in mind, Ronald Reagan had just been elected, I think it was 1980s, and he had destroyed Jimmy Carter, or was it Mondale? I'm not sure, but he had completely crushed the Democratic person he was going against, killed him, right? And then this idiot, this dummy, point blank was about to shoot Ronald Reagan, point blank, like literally within feet away from Ronald Reagan. When this happened, this was a huge controversial issue. One of the Secret Service agent got shot because he went in between the shooter and Ronald Reagan, and essentially that not only saved Ronald Reagan, but you know what I mean, actually got him more popular afterwards because there was a lot of sympathy for a president who had tried to get assassinated. Now, literally 40 some years later, we have a semi-successful attempt, because no matter what you say, Donald Trump right now, as I'm recording this content, 1 a.m. in the morning, July 14th, he is missing a piece of his ear. He's on some Evander Holyfield. He's missing a piece of his ear. So this assassination attempt, whether that it's a grazing, because that's what it's being reported, was successful to the point that they shot a president in the head. You think that's a joke? That's not a joke. That's an accurate description. The president got shot in the head. And had he moved even an inch, you know what I mean? Or had he not been moved to an inch or even 2 inches away, we'd be talking about an unalived, dead Donald Trump right now. Right? And you know what? The irony of this whole situation is somebody who had the best take or the best perspective on this was RFK Jr., man. You know? Robert Kennedy Jr. Why? Because his dad got assassinated successfully, and his uncle, the most famous, I personally think is the most famous assassination of all time, both got killed. Both got assassinated. And what really was the cause of this? What RFK was saying is that there's such crazy political divide in the United States of America from the left and the right that it has blinded people from thinking rationally and actually giving the other side a chance. I remember a few years ago when Donald Trump got elected in 2016 and everybody was freaking out. They were thinking that this was going to be the worst. It was the end of the world, essentially. right? 4 years later, the United States was not any way worse. You could argue it had actually gotten better in a lot of ways, most notably the economy. You know what I mean? And one of the first people who spoke about the Trump presidency in 2016 was Dave Chappelle. Yes, Dave Chappelle was coming back, and Dave Chappelle went on Saturday Night Live. And at the end of his monologue or whatever, the first thing, he says, let's give Donald Trump a chance. Let's see what happens. Right? And then 2020, everybody was going off on Trump. Trump, especially in his 4 years, they tried to impeach him 2 times. You know what I mean? They always said he was the most corrupt, most deep. They made him sound like Hitler. And that's not even me being hyperbolic. They literally said he is Hitler. He is the face of fascism. And this whole rhetoric had ratcheted up in the past few months, especially with all the lawsuits that were put against him, all the charges, 34 some felonies, which a lot of them were ticky-tack. A lot of them were misdemeanors. A lot of them were basic paperwork filings in order to convict him as a felon. See, New York as a state, their attorney general amended the laws, changed up the laws in order to get Trump on a sexual assault claim. It wasn't even anything. It was just a claim as an allegation not proven whatsoever. And, you know, ironically, that led to P. Diddy getting absolutely destroyed and his career ended. So the real reason that, you know, Adult Sex Act law or at least legislature was even put in place was to get Donald Trump on the E. Jean Carroll situation. So you have, let me summarize again, you have multiple levels of government, whether they be the state, whether they be federal, that wanted to get Trump out of the paint. That's what the whole mugshot was about. They wanted to get Trump out of money. They wanted to get Trump out of politics, period. And now, when you keep on spreading the message that this person is worse than the worst human you know, you don't think that somebody crazy or unstable, whatever political party they might be, wouldn't say, F it, I'm gonna crash out? People have crashed out for less, man. People in the hood are crashing out for less. People in the hood are crashing out because you looked at them funny. People in the hood are crashing out because you stepped on their J's. You know what I mean? You don't think that a deranged, let's say radical left-wing liberal wouldn't get mad at quote-unquote the end of democracy? Because that's what they've been advertising about Trump. They've been saying that Trump would be the end of democracy as people know it. That this was the most important election. They have such fear and hatred of Donald Trump, they left a corpse to go debate him and go compete against him. I'm talking about Joe Biden. And speaking about Joe Biden could be put to blame for the situation happening because Donald Trump does not have the full strength of the Secret Service. Meaning, when you are the president of the United States, you have Secret Service agents who are going to protect you. You have the most possible. You are protected at a very high level. When you are a former president, it's not as much protection. Still a lot of great protection from Secret Service. When Donald Trump requested more protection from the Secret Service, from the DOJ, Department of Justice, he could have gotten a yes, bingo, from Joe Biden and his administration, or he could have gotten a no to less protection from Joe Biden and his administration. And guess what they did? They said no. This happened months ago. Months ago. Guess who else got a no when it comes to Secret Service? RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Right? So in a way, Joe Biden, had he said yes to Trump having more security, there'd be more agents out there looking around for a shooter during this rally and other rallies and other future events. But because Joe Biden and the Democrats and most of the people in the left wing are as savage, sometimes even more savage than the right wing, they justify these things. There's even memes saying that person should have clapped, Donald Trump. Straight up. It's how demented and twisted people are. But let me know how y'all feel in the comments, man. A successful assassination attempt, but they didn't get him. And this brings me back to 50 Cent. Many men wish death upon me, blood in my eyes, dog. Well, blood in my ears, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be, and Democrats want to take my life away. Like the video, man. Big JTV, I'm out.